Thomas, who said, I'm not going to believe until I reach on the side and feel that side and feel those hands. Jesus presented himself to him. Thomas went to my homeland. My ancestors come from the state of Kerala, which is where Thomas set foot on Indian soil to present the gospel to the Indian people. After he felt the side and touched the hands, he looked at him on his knees and he said, Ho kuriosmu, ho theosmu, my Lord and my God. Saul of Tarsus, who was persecuting and killing the Christians, he gets a glimpse of this risen Christ and ended up writing 1/3 of the New Testament. All three of them had one thing in common. They all saw the risen Christ. All three of them had another thing in common. They paid with their lives. Just 3 lives. Think of all the thousands. Here's what I want to leave you with as the second thought. In 1971, when I was in my 20s, I was asked to come and speak in Vietnam. I lived in Canada at that time. And I was invited by the chaplains, the American chaplains, and ministered to the American forces and the Korean forces, the Australian. I was only in my mid-20s. I had one tiny sermon book that I put into my pocket, had a handful of sermons and preached them again and again and again. My interpreter was a 17-year-old young man. Thousands came to Christ, and it triggered the revival in Vietnam. Somebody handed me a poem before I left. Remember, I'm in my 20s, my interpreter is 17, and a Vietnam revival broke out by the preaching of 2 young men. Here's what that piece of paper said, written by a U.S. Marine. Lord God, I have never spoken to you, but now I want to say, how do you do? You see, God, they told me you didn't exist. And like a fool, I believed all this. Last night from a shell hole, I saw your sky. I figured right then they had told me a lie. Had I taken time to see the things you made, I'd have known they weren't calling a spade a spade. I wonder, God, if you'll take my hand. Somehow I feel that you'll understand. Funny I had to come to this hellish place before I had time to see your face. Well, I guess there isn't much more to say, but I'm sure glad, God, I met you today. I guess 0 hour will soon be here, but I'm not afraid since I know you're near. The signal, well, God, I'll have to go. I like you lots. I want you to know. Look now, this will be a horrible fight. Who knows, I may come to your house tonight. Though I wasn't friendly to you before, I wonder, God, if you'd wait at your door. Look, I'm crying. I'm shedding tears. I'll have to go now, God. Goodbye. Strange now since I met you. I'm not afraid to die.